I'm Bruce Ellsworth. I'm a bike commuter, and I've been doing that for about 15 years, riding from West Windsor to Pennington. And in the last 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to use the Lawrence Hopewell Trail once it was initially commissioned. My quote-unquote northern route is more the down to business, let me get to work route, and it's a little more direct, about 11 miles. And it leads me along the Bristol-Myers Squibb property through Carson Woods, which is one of my favorite spots in my morning ride. I tend to see a lot of wildlife in there. Sometimes early in the morning I'll surprise a herd of deer, which is kind of entertaining. And then across and through the ETS property, and then continuing up mostly on the road route to get myself to work. But then in the afternoon, that's my real treat, is the ride home, is really kind of shake off the day, get on the bike, and ride home on what I call the southern route, which is down past the Bristol-Myers Squibb facility in Pennington, across the connector to Old Mill, and up and through Rosedale Park, past the ponds, which are always lovely to see, checking out the waterfowl as I'm riding, up past Hunt House and into Pole Farm and up into Village Park. And I just learned a new section of the trail down through past the Lawrenceville Elementary School, which was really nice. The day that I did it, there was a beautiful rainbow, which is the upside of riding in a little bit of rain. But anyway, and then I continued down through Lawrenceville Prep School and down along Louisville Road and into the Burley House, and then up the canal path back home. And so you can see that southern portion is almost entirely off-road. It's about 14 miles one way, and I think only about a half mile of that is on road. Just in Lawrenceville Township, just small little road. So I typically ride on a cyclocross bike. But, it's notable that when I started my bike commute 15 years ago, I had a helmet, some gloves, and a cheap bike. I mean, you really don't need much to do this and get out and really enjoy, the Lawrenceville Hopewell Trail or bike commuting to work. It's actually pretty easy. But now, over 15 years of bike commuting, I've really accumulated quite a bit of gear, including, most importantly for me, the mirror that is on my helmet. It allows me to see what's going on behind me as cars come up for the sections of the commute where I'm on the road come up behind me. And then, of course, the gear to be able to handle the colder and colder weather or the rain. So I encountered a little bit of rain on my commute, and so I donned a cover for my helmet and for my shoes, and those are the most critical pieces to keep dry because they don't go in the washing machine or the dryer when I get home. Also, part of my commuting gear is some biking panniers that go on a rack on the back of my bike that enables me to keep a backpack off my back, which in the summertime feels great to not have a backpack on my back because then it kind of holds the sweat there. For safety, I run a couple of lights on the front, as well as a nice, really visible flashing light on the back. When I run lights at nighttime, it's important to have one that's shining on the path so I can see where I'm going. And the second one I put on my helmet so I can actually direct it if I see something in the trail that I need to visualize. But if there's a portion where I'm on the road, if I need to alert a driver to my presence, I can actually direct the helmet light towards them. The company that I work for has been very supportive of those of us who bicycle commute. They actually built a bike shed for us to store our bikes during the day so we don't bring them in the building or leave them just parked outside. It protects the bikes from the rain if it rains during the day. There are spots for us to hang our helmets and leave our gear to dry out. One other critical factor in supporting my bike commute is my wife's attitude, which is to facilitate my bike commute because it makes me a happier person when I come home. Now, I'm a fairly happy person to begin with, but there's nothing like me at the end of a bike ride I'm just so relaxed. You know, everything from my day is just gone from my head, and I'm just ready to be home and be present in the day. You know, although I'm going to and from work, and I kind of have my head in that space when I'm going there, or I'm letting things out of my head as I'm riding home. You know, it's one of the things I really take pleasure in as I'm riding, is just seeing people out enjoying themselves, getting a little fresh air, and especially, you know, seeing the dogs run around off leash in the dog park, as they really seem to enjoy. So it's really a pleasure to ride past that. Just get out there and try it out. It's a lot of fun. You know, you'll be amazed at the things you see, and if you can, do it throughout the year, and you'll be blessed with, you know, seeing snow, but the beautiful foliage in the spring, the flowering trees. Summertime can be really easy, actually, because the trail is nice and firm, nice ride. Evenings are just beautiful, and of course the fall, when the trees are changing, is just beautiful. It's really, you know, almost like the Grand Canyon, that you have to see it in many different lights and many different seasons. It's really a pleasure to have been riding it for the last 3 years since it was established.